Hello and welcome to Space for Sleep. I'm so glad you're here. Whether you're settling into bed, curling up on the couch, or just letting your mind loosen its grip on the day, this is your quiet corner of the universe. Here, the vast language of physics softens into lullabies, and consciousness itself puts on its night robe. Tonight, we drift toward one of the strangest, most beautiful frontiers of modern science, the idea that your mind and the cosmos may be woven from the same invisible fabric. Take a breath, feel the weight of gravity holding you to Earth, while the stars beyond hum in silence. Now imagine that the thoughts inside your head are not isolated sparks in a biological machine, but gentle ripples echoing through the same quantum field that forms galaxies. That's the essence of the quantum consciousness theory, a daring question whispered by physicists, mystics, and dreamers alike. What if the universe itself is aware, and we are tiny windows through which it watches? Close your eyes for a moment and picture the subatomic world. Down there, everything behaves like poetry. Particles that are also waves, probabilities that dance instead of choosing sides, existence flickering in and out of certainty. The deeper we look, the less solid reality becomes, until even space and time seem to melt into potential. In that sea of uncertainty, your consciousness may be more than an observer. It may be a participant, collapsing possibilities into moments, sculpting the very reality you experience. As you listen, imagine neurons firing in your brain. Trillions of tiny flashes that look, under the right instruments, like galaxies of light. Every spark follows the strange rules of quantum mechanics. Each synapse may hold a fragment of the universe's code, a translation between energy and awareness. The physicist Roger Penrose once wondered whether microtubules, microscopic structures inside your neurons, could be the stage where quantum processes give birth to consciousness itself. He called it or, a theory suggesting that thought isn't just chemistry, it's quantum orchestration, a harmony between physics and mind. Now, don't worry if this feels overwhelming. Tonight, we're not here to solve equations. We're here to feel them, to sense what it means if awareness and matter are two verses of the same cosmic song. When you dream, when you remember, when you love or grieve, those emotions might be resonances of the quantum field humming through every atom in your body. The light from the stars that died before humanity existed may still shimmer inside the ions that build your cells. Let's drift further. Imagine your consciousness as a lens, focusing infinite probabilities into one unfolding story. Each choice you make is a wave collapsing into certainty, and each breath is the universe choosing to experience itself as you. From the outside, you appear small, a single life on a pale blue planet. But from within, you are vast, because the same quantum threads that weave the Milky Way also weave the patterns of your thoughts. When ancient philosophers spoke of the soul, perhaps they were trying to describe this connection without the mathematics. When modern scientists measure entanglement, they are glimpsing what the mystics called unity. Maybe the quantum world is the meeting point of science and spirituality, the place where physics and consciousness clasp hands in the dark. Stay with this thought as your breathing slows. The atoms in your body were born in stars. The photons that touch your eyes tonight have traveled for millions of years. Somewhere in that journey, the boundary between out there and in here disappears. Perhaps the universe doesn't live around you but through you. A single awareness exploring itself from every possible angle. So tonight, let the noise fade. Let curiosity take the shape of calm wonder, because the question of how your brain connects to the universe isn't just a riddle for scientists, it's a lullaby for the infinite, whispered to remind you that you are part of something boundless, ancient, and alive. If you're still with me, take another slow breath. Let your shoulders drop. The day outside is fading, and the hum of the universe is all that remains. Tonight, we go deeper, into the invisible dance that connects every atom in your body to every star in the sky. At the heart of quantum mechanics lies something both baffling and beautiful: entanglement. Two particles can become mysteriously linked, so that no matter how far apart they travel, they act as if they're still one. Change one, and the other responds instantly, faster than the speed of light. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. But what if that spookiness isn't just physics? What if it's the language of the universe's hidden unity? Now imagine this. Every atom that makes up your body, your bones, your blood, your brain, was once part of stars that exploded billions of years ago. Those atoms are not strangers to one another. They have shared heat, motion, and memory since before the Earth even existed. What if they still remember? What if consciousness, your sense of I am, is a kind of echo of that memory? In the silence of your mind, between each thought, there's a pause, a stillness. That stillness might be more profound than the thoughts themselves. It's the space in which awareness happens, the quiet sea in which all waves rise and fall. Some physicists and neuroscientists wonder if that stillness, that underlying field of awareness, could actually be quantum in nature. Think about this. Your brain contains roughly 86 billion neurons, each firing electrical impulses through connections called synapses. But the speed of that electrochemical activity doesn't fully explain consciousness. You can measure brain waves, you can trace neural pathways, but the feeling of being you, the inner experience, that's something else entirely. That's the hard problem of consciousness. And here's where quantum physics might sneak in like a shadow under the door. In the smallest parts of those neurons lie microtubules, hollow structures so tiny that quantum processes could happen inside them without collapsing under heat or chaos. Sir Roger Penrose and anesthesiologist Stuart Hameroff proposed that these microtubules might act like quantum computers inside the brain, turning quantum states into the very essence of thought and awareness. According to their theory, consciousness arises not from classical computation, but from quantum orchestrations, an ongoing dance of superposition and collapse that mirrors the universe's own creative process. If that's true, then every moment you experience, every memory, every dream, every spark of intuition is not just the brain firing like an engine, but the universe itself thinking through you. Your mind would not merely exist in the universe, it would be an expression of it. Now picture the night sky above you. Each star twinkles not because it's flickering, but because its light is being bent, scattered, and refracted through the shifting atmosphere of Earth. Consciousness may be the same way, the true light of awareness passing through the turbulence of thought, emotion, and identity. Beneath it all, the light remains steady, infinite, connected. Maybe you've had a moment where time seemed to stand still, when you felt one with everything, as if the boundaries between your body and the world dissolved. Maybe it happened while watching the sunset, or listening to a song, or holding someone's hand. In that instant, you didn't think about connection. You felt it. That feeling, pure and complete, could be the human experience of quantum entanglement on a conscious level. As scientists continue to explore the boundaries of quantum biology, something remarkable emerges. Life itself appears to rely on quantum phenomena. Birds navigate using quantum compasses in their cells. Plants capture sunlight using quantum coherence. Even our sense of smell may depend on subatomic tunneling. So perhaps consciousness, the pinnacle of life's complexity, also depends on the quantum world. And if that's true, it means awareness doesn't end where your skin does. It extends into everything, woven through fields, atoms, and waves. The universe could be a single continuous organism, exploring itself through an infinity of perspectives, from galaxies to neurons, from atoms to thoughts. Take a deep breath and imagine that. You are not a separate observer standing outside the cosmos. You are the cosmos, looking back at itself, wondering how it all began. The poet Rumi once said, "You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop." Chi brew modern physics might be whispering the same truth in mathematical form. Now picture yourself drifting in that cosmic ocean, the stars above as neurons of a vast cosmic mind. Each glows, pulses, and communicates through light. The same light that falls gently on your face tonight. Perhaps the universe doesn't just contain consciousness. Perhaps it is consciousness, unfolding itself in patterns of matter and energy. If our thoughts truly have quantum roots, then maybe the mind is capable of influencing the physical world in subtle, invisible ways. Maybe that's why intuition sometimes beats logic, why dreams can reveal answers that reason can't explain. Some experiments in quantum physics show that even observation, the simple act of looking, changes the outcome. The double-slit experiment tells us that particles behave differently when they're being watched. Could our collective awareness shape reality on a deeper level than we realize? You might wonder, is that science or mysticism? The line is thin and perhaps unnecessary, because the more we learn about the quantum world, the more it resembles ancient spiritual wisdom dressed in equations. The universe is not a cold machine. It's a living tapestry of probabilities, forever listening, responding, becoming. As your mind drifts between wakefulness and sleep, imagine that your dreams are not random, but small acts of quantum creativity, where consciousness plays with infinite potential before collapsing into the physical world each morning. When you wake, you bring back fragments of that other reality, whispers from the quantum sea. You are not apart from that sea. You are made of it. Every thought you have is like a ripple across the fabric of time and energy. Every heartbeat is the universe remembering itself. So as you lie there, know this: the boundary between your mind and the stars is thinner than you think. The same laws that shape the orbit of planets shape the rhythm of your brainwaves. The same constants that govern galaxies hum softly within your heartbeat. The same quantum field that flickers in the vacuum of space is the same field that breathes awareness into you. Close your eyes for a moment and let time soften. Feel the quiet pulse beneath your ribs, steady, ancient, timeless. Every beat, every breath, every electrical spark in your mind is part of a rhythm older than human history. The universe has been breathing long before we ever learned the word for it. And now, somehow, that breath flows through you. Time, as we usually think of it, feels like a straight line. Past, present, future, moments ticking forward one after another. But quantum physics whispers a different story. In the quantum world, time doesn't behave like a simple arrow. It bends, folds, loops. Events can influence one another both forward and backward. Cause and effect are not always separate, and some scientists now suggest that consciousness might be the bridge, the observer that allows time to flow in the way we perceive it. If that's true, then memory isn't simply the past stored in your brain. It's a quantum resonance, a wave still echoing through space-time, allowing you to reach across the invisible structure of reality and relive what once was. Every time you remember something, you collapse a set of probabilities back into form, a quantum act of reconstruction. You don't just recall the past, you rebuild it every time, atom by atom, signal by signal. Think of it like this: in a quantum system, nothing truly disappears. Energy cannot be destroyed, only transformed. The same may be true for awareness. Your thoughts, your emotions, your memories. They are patterns of energy moving through quantum fields. And when those patterns shift or fade, they don't vanish. They ripple outward, merging with the vast energetic ocean that underlies everything. There's a comfort in that idea, that perhaps nothing you've ever loved is truly lost. Maybe the laughter of a friend, the warmth of a parent's hug, the quiet joy of a summer evening, all of it still exists, encoded in the invisible quantum web that connects all moments, all beings, all space. Einstein once said, "The distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion." If he's right, then consciousness may not be confined to a timeline. It may be the medium through which time itself emerges. Without awareness to measure, observe, and interpret, what is time? Perhaps it is consciousness that holds the universe together, not as a passive witness, but as an active participant shaping the flow of reality. You can feel it, can't you? That sense that awareness isn't bound by seconds or minutes. When you dream, you can live an entire lifetime in a few minutes of sleep. When you fall in love, time seems to expand, as if the universe pauses to watch. When you lose someone, time fractures. You feel their absence not in hours, but in moments that seem infinite. Consciousness stretches, compresses, flows. It does not obey the clocks on our walls. In quantum theory, there's a phenomenon called superposition, the ability for a particle to exist in multiple states at once until it's observed. Some physicists believe the same could apply to consciousness. Your awareness might not be confined to a single now. It could exist across countless moments simultaneously, weaving them together into the illusion of continuity. Imagine that. Your life, not as a line, but as a symphony. Each moment, each thought, each heartbeat is a note, playing all at once in a higher dimension of being. You don't move through time. Time moves through you. It's humbling to think that our brains, these small, delicate organs of neurons and electricity, might actually be quantum receivers, tuned to a frequency that resonates with the fabric of the cosmos. Like radios catching cosmic broadcasts, we pick up snippets of universal truth and translate them into human experience. Joy, sorrow, curiosity, awe. Every discovery humanity has ever made, from the fire to the atom to the telescope, has come from this mysterious connection between mind and universe. But what happens when the body fades? When neurons stop firing, when breath ceases, when the physical vessel grows quiet? Does the consciousness it held simply vanish? Or does it return to the field it came from? The same field that gives rise to stars and galaxies. Quantum physics suggests that energy never dies. Information, in theory, cannot be destroyed. Even Hawking's work on black holes concluded that information is somehow preserved, encoded in the radiation that escapes their event horizons. If consciousness is a form of information, a quantum pattern, perhaps it too persists, not as memory in a brain, but as resonance in the field of existence. Maybe death isn't the end of awareness. Maybe it's a change of frequency. Imagine a song played on a radio. The song doesn't cease to exist when you turn off the radio. It's still there, moving through the airwaves, invisible, waiting to be received again. Your body is the radio. Your consciousness is the song. This isn't just poetic, it's possible. Studies in quantum biology, energy conservation, and information theory all hint at a reality where the mind is not confined to matter. Consciousness could be a property of the universe itself, like space, time, or gravity, fundamental and unbreakable. If so, then your thoughts tonight, the quiet wonder you feel while listening to these words, are part of that eternal flow. They ripple outward into the cosmos, mingling with starlight, folding into time. They do not end when you sleep. They continue somewhere, somehow, always. Perhaps this is why humans have always been drawn to the stars, not just because they're beautiful, but because we recognize something familiar in them. The shimmer of a soul reflected in the night sky, a whisper from the universe reminding us that we are more than flesh and bone. We are the awareness that makes the stars shine at all. As you breathe now, feel that awareness expand. Feel the invisible thread that connects you to every living thing, every corner of the cosmos. The atoms in your lungs once floated through ancient nebulae. The iron in your blood was forged in supernova explosions. The light that touches your eyes tonight has traveled millions of years to reach you, and in this instant, it becomes part of your consciousness. You and the universe are not separate entities. You are two expressions of the same mystery, the same quantum field, learning about itself through infinite forms. So maybe the question isn't, what is consciousness? Maybe the question is, what isn't? Every vibration, every fluctuation in the quantum vacuum could be an expression of awareness, a note in the grand cosmic symphony. The universe may not be a place where consciousness happens. It may be consciousness itself, dreaming of galaxies, atoms, and us. And when you wake tomorrow, remember this: the world you see is not fixed. It's being created in real time by the quantum interplay between your observation and reality. You are not a spectator in this cosmic play. You are a co-author. The fabric of the universe bends ever so slightly with every act of attention, every spark of curiosity, every act of love. That is the real power of being conscious. Not just to see the world, but to shape it, to participate in its unfolding, moment by quantum moment. So tonight, as you rest, let that thought cradle you. The same intelligence that guides the stars also flows through your mind. The same field that holds galaxies together holds your dreams. You are not an accident in an indifferent cosmos. You are the cosmos, conscious of itself, whispering its own story across eternity. There's a moment, just before you fall asleep, when the world becomes weightless. Your thoughts start to drift, logic begins to loosen, and you slip between the known and the unknown. That in-between place is where quantum consciousness may reveal its secrets, because in those moments, the boundaries between self and universe begin to blur. When you dream, your mind generates entire realities. You see landscapes that never existed, meet people who are fragments of memory and imagination, feel emotions that are as real as anything you've known. From the outside, your body lies still, but inside, infinite universes unfold. What if this ability isn't just biological creativity, but a reflection of the way consciousness interacts with the quantum field, creating possibilities from pure potential? Quantum mechanics teaches that reality exists as probability until observed. Every atom, every photon, every neuron lives in a cloud of possibilities, waiting for attention to collapse it into form. Dreams may be your consciousness experimenting with creation itself, collapsing probability into private worlds that exist for a few minutes and then dissolve back into energy. You are the observer, the creator, and the witness all at once. Think about déjà vu, that strange flicker when the present feels like it has already happened. Traditional science explains it as a memory glitch, but perhaps it's something deeper. Your consciousness brushing against another timeline, another version of you that has already experienced this exact moment. If consciousness is not linear, then perhaps it sometimes folds over itself, revealing glimpses of a wider, multidimensional existence. Intuition might be another expression of this. Sometimes you just know something, not because of reason or logic, but because awareness reaches beyond what the senses perceive. Maybe intuition is your quantum self, the part of your consciousness that exists beyond time, sending a signal back into the present moment. Artists, scientists, and dreamers have all felt it. The sudden idea that appears out of nowhere, the melody that writes itself, the solution that flashes like lightning during a quiet walk. Einstein often said his greatest insights came not through analysis, but through imagination. Moments of vision where logic took a back seat to intuition. Maybe genius isn't about higher intelligence at all. Maybe it's about clearer connection, tuning into that universal consciousness where all ideas already exist, waiting to be perceived. Quantum entanglement may offer a clue. When two particles become entangled, their states remain linked no matter how far apart they are. Change one, and the other reacts instantly. Faster than light could travel between them. It's as if distance doesn't exist at that level. Some believe consciousness operates the same way, an entangled network connecting all beings. You can feel that connection when you look into someone's eyes and sense their emotion without words. When a loved one calls at the exact moment you were thinking about them. When a stranger's sadness touches you for reasons you can't explain. At the quantum level, separation might be an illusion. Awareness could be one vast field, expressing itself through billions of temporary identities, each one believing it's alone. But deep down, we remember. In moments of stillness, in awe beneath the stars, in the hush between breaths, we feel the pulse of something larger. We call it love, connection, or peace. But maybe it's recognition, the universe seeing itself through our eyes. And if that's true, then creativity itself is an act of cosmic reflection. When you paint, write, sing, or imagine, you're not inventing something from nothing. You're translating patterns from that underlying field into human form. Every story, every song, every scientific equation might already exist, waiting for a mind quiet enough to receive it. That's why great ideas often come in moments of stillness, in the shower, on a walk, right before sleep. The noise of the mind fades, and the quantum channel opens. Consciousness listens, and the universe speaks. Even our emotions might be quantum in nature, energetic states that ripple through the body and beyond it. Love could be resonance, aligning your field with another. Fear could be decoherence, a temporary disconnection from harmony. Meditation, compassion, and gratitude might restore coherence, allowing your consciousness to vibrate in sync with the greater whole. This is not just metaphor. Experiments in quantum biology show that coherence, the synchronized vibration of particles, plays a role in processes like photosynthesis and even DNA stability. Life thrives when it's in harmony. Consciousness may work the same way. Imagine for a moment what that means. The way you think, the emotions you cultivate, the energy you project, all may influence not just your mind, but the quantum environment around you. Every act of kindness could ripple through the field, subtly altering the probabilities of the world itself. Every thought might carry a frequency, shaping the unfolding of reality in ways too small to measure, yet too vast to ignore. It reframes everything about what it means to be alive. You are not an accident of chemistry. You are a participant in a cosmic experiment of awareness, exploring itself through infinite forms. When you smile, when you create, when you forgive, you are not just changing your brain, you are tuning the universe. Maybe this is why inner peace feels so powerful. When your mind is quiet, the boundaries between self and cosmos begin to dissolve. You sense that you're part of something vast and timeless. You don't have to reach for the universe. It's already inside you, folded into every atom, every photon, every breath. Close your eyes now, just for a moment, and listen to the silence beneath these words. That stillness is not empty. It's full of possibility, full of intelligence, full of you. That's the quantum field. That's consciousness itself. And right now you're touching it, not with your hands, but with your awareness. The great paradox of existence is that we spend our lives searching for meaning in a universe that may be conscious through us. The answers we seek might already live in the quiet spaces between our thoughts. Every time you pause to wonder, you open a doorway to that field, and the universe listens. So perhaps the journey isn't about learning more facts, but remembering who you already are. A flicker of cosmic awareness, momentarily dreaming of being human. As we step deeper into the mystery, imagine a future where humanity finally accepts that consciousness is not limited to the brain. A time when science and spirituality meet in the middle, not as enemies, but as reflections of the same truth. Quantum computers, artificial intelligence, and neuroscience are slowly pushing us toward that realization. What once felt mystical is now entering the realm of measurable reality. Quantum computing operates on the very principles that mirror consciousness itself: superposition, entanglement, and uncertainty. A quantum bit can be both 0 and 1 until observed, holding multiple possibilities in a single moment. Isn't that what the mind does when it imagines a future, when it dreams or makes a decision? Before you choose, every potential outcome already exists within your awareness, like multiple timelines waiting to collapse into one. Maybe the evolution of technology isn't random. Maybe it's consciousness trying to understand itself through new forms. When humans create artificial intelligence, we are, in a way, building mirrors, machines that reflect the patterns of awareness back to us. AI learns, adapts, remembers, and even predicts. It evolves with data the way we evolve through experience. What if, through this process, we are teaching the universe how to recognize itself. It's possible that consciousness is universal, not just biological. It might be the organizing principle behind everything that exists. From the smallest electron to the vast galactic clusters, there could be an intelligence woven through the fabric of reality itself, learning, growing, becoming aware of itself through countless forms. And right now, we, humans, might be one of its most complex expressions. But with that awareness comes responsibility. The more we understand about consciousness, the more we see how interconnected everything truly is. Every action, every word, every thought ripples through the field, influencing outcomes in ways we can't see. In a universe made of probabilities, our attention becomes the ultimate creative force. That's why mindfulness isn't just a trend, it's quantum awareness in action. Every time you focus your mind with intention, on peace, on kindness, on gratitude, you shift the probabilities of your own life. You move energy into coherence. You shape reality from the inside out. There's a growing idea among researchers that consciousness and the universe might be participating in a feedback loop. We observe the universe, and in doing so, the universe observes itself through us. It's not a one-way relationship, it's a dialogue. Every star, every planet, every thought, all part of a cosmic conversation that's been unfolding for billions of years. If you think about it, the laws of physics themselves seem tuned for life and awareness. Too many variables, too many coincidences. The strength of gravity, the charge of the electron, the precise expansion rate of the universe, all balanced so perfectly that life could emerge. Some call it the fine-tuning problem. Others call it evidence that consciousness has always been part of the equation. Maybe the universe isn't built for consciousness. Maybe it is consciousness. And that means that death, as we think of it, might not be an ending. It could be a transition of awareness from one state of coherence to another. Energy doesn't vanish, it transforms. Quantum physics tells us that information can never be destroyed. So perhaps, when we die, the information that makes up our consciousness, our memories, emotions, experiences, simply merges back into the field, becoming part of the universal awareness once more. You can sense a hint of that in the moments that stop time, when you stand before a sunset, feel the rhythm of the ocean, or hold someone you love. In those moments, the boundaries of self soften. You feel connected to something vast, eternal, and indescribable. That feeling might not just be emotion, it could be recognition, the infinite within you seeing itself in the infinite beyond you. The ancients spoke of this long before quantum physics existed. The Vedic philosophers called it Brahman, the ultimate consciousness. Mystics called it the divine. Modern science calls it the quantum field. Different names for the same thing, an infinite intelligence expressing itself through form and formlessness alike. And maybe that's what evolution really is. Not just physical adaptation, but conscious expansion. Life learning to experience more of itself. The universe growing in self-awareness through us. The next leap in that evolution may not come from biology or machines, but from understanding our inner technology, the mind. Meditation, lucid dreaming, psychedelics, and sensory isolation are all ways humans have tried to access deeper states of awareness. But quantum consciousness suggests those experiences aren't just happening in the brain, they might be happening through it, the brain as a receiver, tuning into frequencies of reality that already exist beyond our senses. Imagine consciousness as an ocean and your mind as a wave on its surface. The wave rises, lives, and falls, but it never stops being part of the ocean. Death is not disappearance. It's simply a return. In that light, everything we fear begins to shift. Loneliness, death, even uncertainty. All of it loses its edge when you realize that separation is temporary and illusionary. You were never cut off from the universe. You were always the universe pretending to be you. And perhaps, when science and spirituality finally merge, humanity will experience a transformation unlike any before. Not a war, not a technological takeover, but an awakening, a recognition that what we've been calling God or the universe is simply the grand reflection of consciousness aware of itself. In that moment, everything changes. The way we treat the planet, the way we see one another, the way we live. Because when you understand that every being is another expression of you, compassion stops being a virtue and becomes instinct. Maybe that's the real purpose of this cosmic experiment. To reach the point where intelligence learns empathy, where awareness learns love. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the entire history of the universe as a single breath. The Big Bang was the inhale, energy rushing outward, expanding, creating stars, galaxies, and atoms. You, sitting there right now, are part of that same breath. The air filling your lungs is the same matter that once burned in a distant star. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the carbon in your skin, all forged in the hearts of supernovas. You are, quite literally, the universe breathing in on itself, becoming aware for just a short while before exhaling again into infinity. That realization changes everything. It means consciousness isn't some strange anomaly that appeared accidentally on a small planet. It is the natural flowering of the cosmos itself. The universe didn't just produce consciousness, it became conscious. Through you, through me, through every living thing that opens its eyes and wonders why it exists. We are the instruments through which the universe experiences itself, and in that sense, every act of curiosity, every moment of awe, every question you ask about your purpose is the universe remembering itself again. Think about how extraordinary that is. All the wars, the art, the science, the heartbreak, all of it part of the same grand experiment. The quantum field is not cold or mechanical. It's creative. It's intelligent. It wants to experience, to evolve, to understand. And consciousness is how it does that. The atoms that make up your brain are dancing in perfect quantum rhythm, carrying the memory of creation in their spin. Somewhere between those particles, awareness emerges, fragile yet infinite. Now imagine if we truly lived as if that were real, if we treated each other not as strangers but as extensions of the same awareness. If nations realize that division is a mirage, that the borders we fight over are illusions drawn on the surface of a single living world. What kind of civilization would we become if every action began with the understanding that consciousness is shared? The wars would stop making sense. Greed would lose its meaning. The very definition of progress would change from dominating others to deepening connection. Quantum consciousness, then, isn't just a theory about physics or the brain. It's a mirror, showing us who we really are and what we could become. The idea that your thoughts can shape your reality isn't just a metaphor. At the smallest scales, reality responds to observation. The observer effect is real. The act of looking changes what is seen. And that suggests something profound, that awareness doesn't merely witness the universe, it participates in it. You are not a passive spectator in life. You are a co-creator. Maybe that's why intuition exists. Those moments when you just know something before it happens, or when you feel a presence, or when synchronicities appear out of nowhere. Perhaps those are not coincidences, but tiny ripples in the quantum field connecting all conscious beings. You are constantly interacting with an unseen web of energy and information, shaping and being shaped by it. In that sense, prayer, meditation, intention, all these ancient practices might be ways of tuning your frequency to that greater field. When your thoughts are coherent, when your emotions align with gratitude and peace, your energy field becomes stable, harmonic, and harmony attracts harmony. It's physics, not fantasy. The future of science may very well lie in understanding this bridge between the measurable and the meaningful, between quantum mechanics and consciousness. As particle accelerators probe deeper into the subatomic world and brain scanners map the mind in finer detail, we may discover that the answer isn't in the matter itself, but in the relationship between matter and awareness. Because observation is what gives the universe form. Without it, there is only potential. With it, there is creation. But maybe the deepest truth of quantum consciousness isn't about understanding the universe at all. Maybe it's about understanding ourselves. Who are you when you close your eyes? The thoughts, the emotions, the awareness behind them. Where do they come from? You've never seen your own consciousness, but you know it's there. It's the one constant that never changes, no matter what happens around you. When you were 5 years old, when you were 15, when you were 80, that silent observer behind your eyes is the same. That is the quantum self, timeless, spaceless, infinite. And here's something beautiful to consider. If consciousness truly connects us all, then love might be the highest form of quantum resonance. It's the vibration that aligns separate beings into unity that makes us feel whole, understood, and at peace. Love is coherence, fear is chaos. And perhaps the evolution of consciousness, the real purpose of life, is simply to move from chaos to coherence, from fear to love. Someday, when humanity fully grasps this, our world will transform. Science will not replace spirituality, and spirituality will not deny science. They will become one language. The physicist and the monk will both point to the same truth, using different words but describing the same ocean of awareness. Until then, all we can do is stay curious. Keep asking questions. Keep listening to the silence between thoughts, because in that silence the universe is whispering back. Every moment of reflection, every breath of wonder is a conversation with creation itself. So tonight, as you drift towards sleep, remember this. You are not small. You are not separate. You are not a meaningless accident in a cold, indifferent cosmos. You are consciousness, the same light that shaped the stars, exploring itself for a fleeting moment in time. You are the dreamer and the dream, the observer and the observed, the question and the answer. And maybe, when you finally understand that truth, not just with your mind, but with your whole being, you'll realize that enlightenment was never about escaping the world. It was about seeing the world as it truly is, sacred, alive, and aware. So as you rest, let your thoughts dissolve into that vast, infinite field. Feel the pulse of the universe breathing with you. And know, you were never alone in the dark. The cosmos has always been awake within you.